An opponent that's struggling offensively, do you have any more of an aggressive mindset or a different mindset than you do against a team that maybe is hot hitting?
Well, you want to be aggressive against everybody, but obviously, you can see the stats on the scoreboard when they come up to bat. So you really tell yourself no free passes and really stay in the strike zone.
Seth, obviously you were at the All-Star game, but otherwise, was there anything you were able to have time to kind of reflect on the first half that you wanted to apply to the second half?
Not really. I mean, I was a busy week and I'm still dealing with some stuff mechanically and physically. So, I'm just still working.
How is your wrist and being able to kind of, I know we talked about that before the break.
Yeah, it's turning the corner. It's starting to feel a lot better. There was, I think it was in the fourth or fifth, I noticed my front side was getting a little weak, so I was doing a few things in between pitches to tell myself to, stay in my mechanics. So, it's easier than it's been, but, hopefully in the next week or so it'll really turn the corner. I won't notice it anymore.
Just with your arsenal and being able to have several pitches, how does that help you, like later in games when you're facing hitters for the third, fourth time?
It helps a ton, When we go over scouting report, we recognize pitches that some hitters struggle with, and if I'm getting early contact, in the first few innings, and they're only seeing one pitch, well then, I got those other pitches I can lean on later that they haven't seen. So that's huge for my game plan.
So can you expand on how you get your mechanics back in that moment when you feel like maybe they're going a little bit awry?
Like I said, I was just kind of doing some dry mechanics, make sure that front side, feeling it get right there. I know there's a little pressure on my wrist, but make sure I get to that spot. That's kind of the cue is, don't get short and avoid that feeling, but, feel it and, just know that it's going to be there. But, yeah, that's about it.
That applause after the game, after you're walking off the field there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Had chills out there, so that was really cool. Lugo chants, that was special. Something I won't forget.
Something you've experienced before?
A little bit, not like that. That was the biggest for sure.
There's only a couple people in the White Sox lineup that are dangerous at all. Tommy Pham, a little bit maybe. Lewis Robert, who's had a rough season. Andrew Vaughn can hit the ball out of the park, but there's not much going on offensively with this team, and he took it right to him. His ERA now is just a tick over 2 after allowing just the 1 run today. Bounces back from a not-so-hot start, his previous start, and obviously he's dealing with a minor physical issue, but it's certainly not affecting his pitching. I don't know if Bobby Witt Jr. is dealing with anything at all. All he does is hit and hit and hit right now. He's up to 337. He had 3 hits in the game, all singles, as Matt Quattro joked about. The out he made was a shot to the third baseman that almost tore his glove off. In the end, it was 3 for 4 with the lead run scored for Bobby Witt Jr., but he was certainly not going to take the bait when I asked him if he'd been locked in like this for the first time since Little League.
I'm just enjoying it up there, just trying to see the ball and hit the ball, really. Nothing too much and just trying to keep it simple.
What's it like watching Lugo go the distance today?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible to see him do what he does, and the surgeon up there dissecting hitters, like I like to call him. But, yeah, it's just I had a weird feeling before this game. I even told Frazier, I'm like, this might be a good start. I got a feeling. But, yeah, it was great to see him do what he does, and that's just what he does, the homework he puts in, both on and off the field, and just how he reads hitters and everything. It's so much fun just to play defense behind that, and then just him competing up there and just getting the job done.
What leads to that feeling, you think, that you have?
Just the preparation. Whenever you're prepared in this game, I think you're going to do a lot of good things.
Bobby, when he comes out for the 8th, I know you guys got other stuff to worry about coming up to the plate, but are you curious if he's going to go back out for the 9th in that spot?
Yeah, I remember I was kind of going up to lead off that inning. He said, "Get me a run" or something. So at that point, I was like, "Oh, he's going back out there." So we had to scrap out a run, and so yeah.
You kind of got it started there in the 8th, that 3-run rally there. How important was that to make sure that Seth was comfortable going out there in the 9th? The conversation didn't really have to be had.
Yeah, we just had to try to scratch away and get some runs. The couple innings before did a great job scratching a run off the board, just kind of playing a little Michael getting a little base knock, Blanco, and then Izzy putting down that bunt, I think was a huge thing that kind of goes unnoticed, just getting that first run off across the board, and then in the 8th doing that was a lot of fun.
he was appreciative of them chanting his name from the crowd. So what do you just think watching that and seeing him getting that love too?
Yeah, he deserves it. Fans have been great out here, so they got to show it. They're showing it out for him, and so yeah, it was awesome hearing that in the ninth inning, and then afterwards just hearing the Lugo chants.
You guys had a great first half, obviously better than people expected. Now you come out in the second half and get a quick sweep. How important was it to maintain the momentum or rebuild the momentum after the break?
Yeah, it's just we got to do what we do. When we do what we're doing, a lot of things are going to happen and go our way, and so we just got to focus on the task at hand. And now, great win, good sweep this week, and this weekend, and then now move on to tomorrow.
I'm curious, when you're in a flow like this, how do you still try to pinpoint where to get better each and every day, even though things are working?
Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. I try to, like I was talking about preparing, I just got to be able to make sure I'm prepared for each and every night, make sure my body's right and everything, and then just control what I can control, just try to get good pitches to hit and help the team.
Witt likes to keep the focus on the other people on the team aspect of the game, but right now he is certainly an MVP candidate. Hunter Renfroe, who we talked to afterwards, talked about him as a future MVP. I don't think it'll happen this year, but it's probably going to happen sometime. And I mentioned at the All-Star break when I was talking with Soren Petro and the guys on Sports Radio 810 that Bobby Witt Jr. had to continue to be an MVP-type player for the Royals to be in the playoff hunt. Well, they're in playoff position now after 3 straight wins over the weekend, and they now are 10 games over 500. We'll check out all the things coming up in the baseball roundup. But the Royals do what they needed to do here at the ballpark. It was a fun day to be out here. 22,000 people showed up. They had a quick, brief 2 hours of entertainment. 2 hours and 8 minutes was the game. They got a Royals win. They got another Salvi splash. They got a different guy to splash. That was Hunter Renfroe, who drove in the game-leading run, and then they tacked on and made it easy, and easy decisions to be made. Now the Diamondbacks come to town. They are playing much better ball than the White Sox are. In fact, they've won 12 of their last 18 games coming into this series, and they have been going pretty darn well. They were one of the disappointments of baseball up to a couple of weeks ago, but should be a very interesting series with a team that made it all the way to the World Series last year. They have been struggling a bit, but they seem to have found their groove, so a bigger challenge and some entertaining baseball should be on tap for that series that starts tonight. We'll have the baseball roundup and all the fun things that happened around the sports world over this weekend coming up next. It's our Monday Musings, Danny and Friends Sports Wrap, always presented by Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, you've got a great menu. You fine-tuned it a little bit. Great beers. There's always something to be had to put a smile on your face at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Oh, you bet. And Brian Haney would always say, come have the Haney turkey stack. Bill Self would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. I would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. It's great. Great mac and cheese, buffalo mac and cheese, and we've got a ton of other menu items that you're sure to love. We've got a great brewer who's brewing great beer, and if you like craft beer, our guy's the way to go. And we're making great drinks, too. There's a great new distillery in the state of Kansas called Llewellyn Distillery. My brother's doing that. He makes some great whiskey and vodka and rum, and we're doing all kinds of great drinks with those beverages.
Always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery, 23rd and Castle. Come on by anytime and have a good time.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Welcome back, and this Monday is a big smile for Royals fans. 10 games over 500 as noted, and a real, what looks like a fun series with a hot team in the Snakes coming to town for some entertaining baseball, to say the least. 3 games, all night games for that particular series. Let's check out baseball right after the All-Star break, and there was some interesting series and things going on. And in the American League East and the American League, the top team out there is the Baltimore Orioles, with a little bit of a slip from the Cleveland Guardians of late. The Orioles, despite the fact they've dropped 6 out of 10, have the best record in the American League, just over a .600 winning percentage and a 2-game lead over the New York Yankees. Yankees have played 2 series against the Rays, and actually just a little bit after I finish doing this, they'll be playing the last game of a wraparound series with the Rays, and the Rays have taken 4 out of 6 from them and injected themselves back in the playoff race. So the Yankees have lost 6 of their last 10. They're 2 games back. The Red Sox get swept by the Dodgers over the weekend. All close games, all kind of exciting games. Lots of Shohei Ohtani, lots of runs, a couple of 1-run wins for the Dodgers, and the Red Sox basically are in a position now behind the Royals. And the Royals now have not only injected themselves back into a playoff spot, they're in the running for even the top playoff spot, wild card spot. So that would that's an important deal, because if you get that first wild card spot, you don't have to play all 3 games on the road. That's where the Royals lie right now. That's a good deal. Tampa Bay Rays have won 6 out of 10. They're over 500 now, despite a rather lackluster run differential, and they just find a way. The Rays find a way. They have injuries. They have a lot of bad things that go on, and still they just go out and persist and persevere. And they're doing it against the best teams. They took a series against the Yankees, then they took a series against the Guardians, and now they can take another series against the Yankees. Yankees can get a split today if they take the 4th game of that series. And the Blue Jays just can't get out of their own way, can't get anything going. They're in last place. They're in trouble, but not so far under 500 that they can't dream a little bit as well. Guardians, who a lot of people think have overachieved this year, maybe they have, I don't know. They've fought injuries too, but they've had a little slippage of late, losing 7 of their last 10, still with a 5-game lead over the Twins and the Royals. Twins and Royals are basically knotted up, as the Royals, I think I said they were ahead of the Twins. They're actually ever so slightly behind the Twins, 1 percentage point in the standings, but in a playoff position. Both teams 10 games over the break-even point. The Tigers have gotten hot at the right time to inject life into their season and maybe think about not treating Tarek Skubal, as they are 2 games under 500. And the White Sox now are looking down the barrel of that dreaded .250 winning percentage, the all-time record of the New York Mets, winning just 1/3 of their games, 1/4 of their games back in 1962. The White Sox are .267 winning percentage, and they've lost 7 in a row, and they can't score. I mean, they have scored 140 runs less than the Royals this year. And the Royals are obviously not a juggernaut offensively. They're pretty good. The Astros have played well. They dropped the final game of their series against the Mariners, but they've surged into first place. They're 5 games over 500, but they got to keep it going. They look like the better team in that situation. The Mariners have very little offense, but they did salvage one in that series at the end of it. Mariners have fantastic pitching, but they just have a very poor offensive team. Not as poor as the White Sox, but they've scored under 400 runs this year. Every time the Texas Rangers get something going, there's just a little bit of a fallback, but they have at least played well in their last 10. They're 5 games under 500. The Angels and the Athletics aren't worth talking about. They lose a lot of games. They don't have much excitement. At least the Athletics are playing young players. Over to the National League, where the best record belongs to the Philadelphia Phillies. They've only split their last 10 games, but they are cruising in the National League East. The Atlanta Braves have been underachievers. He just picked up old friend Whit Merrifield yesterday, as a matter of fact. Merrifield had been released a little bit earlier by the Phillies, and the Braves are solidly, however, in a wild card spot at 10 games over 500. The Mets also are in the mix at 2 games over 500, winners of 6 of their last 10 games. The Nationals hanging around. They were expected to be pretty bad this year, and they're not. They're 6 games under 500. The Marlins maybe were expected to be okay this year. They overachieved last year. They aren't this year. They've been pretty bad. They're way, way under 500. 28 games out of first place. That's a long way. The Brewers just keep on doing it. Whenever they hit a flat spot, they bounce back. They sweep a series over the weekend as they take out 3 consecutive tight games as they were winners on the weekend over the Twins 3 different times, 3 good games, but they won them all. They're 15 games over 500 and 5 games clear of the Cardinals, who are in wild card position at 5 games over 500. The Pirates have won 8 of their last 10. Paul Skeens has injected some life into that team, and even though they lost on Sunday, they've been playing great baseball and have pushed themselves over 500. Cubs have also played better of late, and so they're hanging around. They're